Hello everybody, it's Mike here at Game from Scratch, and if you are an Unreal Engine developer, it is that time of month again. Every month since November of 2018, Unreal has been giving away a bunch of free assets to Unreal Engine developers, and March is no exception. So we've got a bunch of new stuff here, and some of it is very, very interesting. So if you don't know already, what basically happens here is you get 1 month to go ahead and download these particular assets. So you have to go onto their store and buy them, but you don't need to give credit card or pay anything. You just have to make sure that you purchase these sometime within the month of March, and then they're yours forever. So we've got 5 new assets that are available for a limited time, and then we've got 2 new ones that are actually available forever. And we're going to do a quick jump in and see what is part of this pack. Now, if you're interested in these assets or you want me to drill down and give more information on a particular asset, let me know and I will jump into it. Actually, one of the most interesting ones to me is actually the one that's freely available forever. So I don't have a lot of deadline in getting it covered. But if there's something here that you want to see a little bit more in depth, do let me know and I will do my best to cover it. All right, so let's jump in. Now, first off, there is the Unreal Engine blog where they talk about all of the various different options that are available. We're just going to skip over that. We're going to actually look at each one as we go. So the first one we've got here is the Fabric Pack. This is 56 fabrics available in 4K PBR textures. It's pretty straightforward. It's a bunch of things such as denim, leather, linen, shag pile, carpet, velvet, wool, and so on. A bunch of different resolutions are available. Again, 505 unique 4K textures included. So if you're looking for materials and such, this is a great choice for you. Next up, we have the Multistory Dungeon. This is basically a procedural or a reusable set of assets for creating dungeons. And yes, this is the most asset-y flip thing in the pack, so don't be surprised if you see these barrels and canvas and so on available in various different asset flip games coming soon. But you can see it's just a collection of meshes and objects that are textured that you can use to create game levels. Very, Diablo 3-esque. So you can see that when you break it down, what's actually in here, there's an absolute ton of things. 350 meshes, all materialed and textured and so on. So next up, we have the over 9,000 swords pack. What this is basically a modular and procedural creator of weapons. So you can create a number of different weapons using their system, and it's a way of basically putting together all the various different pieces to make various different weapons. So you can see 44 different components split over categories is possible to make up to 13,552 unique swords with the meshes provided. So it's basically a script and assets required to make procedural swords. A very niche in its use, but very cool if you happen to need 13,000 swords for your particular game. Next up, we have rolls and dodges animation set. This one's about as straightforward as they get. It is a set of 18 third-person rolls and dodge animations for use in your game. And pretty much that's about it. So you see you can animations for rolling forward, left, right, so on. Every different direction you could want to go. And yeah, that one, again, is probably the most straightforward asset that's ever been given away, to be honest. Next up, we have Weapon Component. This is a blueprint-based weapon system. Multiplayer support contains weapon logic, firing, spawning, switching weapons, animations, and so on. So basically, this is a weapon controller. It's a selection of blueprints and animations that you use to control weapon usage in your game. As you see, it can get a little complicated in its implementation, but if you're creating a first or third person shooter game and you need to have advanced weapon controls, this could be a great starting point for you. Next up, we have then now actually we're into the whole these are free forever. And this one, again, is pretty straightforward. This is a set of skyboxes. So off in the infinite background, things like cloudy skies, overcast, and so on. That's exactly what this is. It's the controllers and the data or the assets needed to create skyboxes. So you got a day, a night, a star, a moon, a sun, and a storm skybox, over 20 sky presets, 4 modes of cloud style, 6 modes of cloud coverage, and then controls for things like time of day, random weather, and so on. So if you need to have advanced skyboxes, this could be a great choice for you. And again, this one is free forever, not just temporarily. And finally, and probably most interesting to me, to be honest, is the Procedural Nature Pack Volume 1. And this procedurally generate any nature scene you can think of with these assets. And you've got some advanced things in here. Like, so you can see, it's a lot like Gaia, if you remember that from Unity coverage. You can do things like create trees and grasslands and so on. But where it gets most interesting is you've also got things in here like for creating rivers that run through your environment and so on. Again, the Procedural Nature Pack is probably the one that I find most interesting, but it's also one of the oldest. So it'd be interesting to see how well it stacks up and how good it looks. So this is probably one that I'm going to take a look at myself. So again, I like things like the spline generated rivers, trees, and so on. So you can, rapidly paint down your assets and kind of customize them a little bit more. But you see here, you've got 70 textures, 55 materials, 40 meshes used to create forests and rivers and so on. So again, this is probably the asset in here that I find the most interesting. There's a couple cool things in this pack, but again, this is the one that stands out to me and probably the one that I'm most interested in playing with myself, at least. So let me know what you think. Is there anything here you want to see me go into a bit more detail on? If so, let me know, comments down below. And what do you think of these giveaways? Do you think that, are they tempting you towards picking up Unreal Engine? Are they making it harder and harder for people to actually sell assets in the Unreal Engine marketplace because, you know, they're competing against more and more and more free versions? Or do you think it's just a great thing all around, or do you just not care at all? I'd be interested to hear your opinion in the comments down below. So once again, I will toss a link that will have a link to all the various different assets we're dealing with here, and you do have a limited time to buy those first 5. Again, you don't need to give a credit card, and you don't need to actually purchase anything, but you do need to add them to your cart and check it out. And then once you've done that, you own them forever, except for this procedural nature pack and the Good Skies Skybox. Those are now free forever. So let me know what you think, and I will talk to you all later. Goodbye.